Hello, here we are talking about the level of Taijasa, of the three major levels of waking, dreaming, deep sleep, or Vaishnara, Taijasa, Prajna, and the fourth state, Turiya. This is the second of those major three levels. And in terms of our counting seven levels of consciousness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this is the third of those seven levels of consciousness. We all experience this occasionally, some more than others, as the dreaming state of consciousness that is occurring at this level or plane of reality that is called Taijasa. And this level is functioning all the time, even right now as you're watching this. It's your unconscious processing aspect of your mind, a little bit symbolically, a little bit like the microchip in your computer that is doing the thinking. I know it's not really thinking the way humans are thinking, but it's that unconscious microprocessor going on. And this is going on at all times. Again, we experience it usually in dreaming. And this is the plane of reality that when we sit for meditation and all those distracting, disturbing thoughts come forward in our meditation time, this is where they are coming from. They're stirring in the unconscious and they come forward. We may get the conscious mind here to be quiet, and then here comes all these other old memories. Where are they coming from? They're coming from this active unconscious and coming forward. And by allowing them to come forward and intentionally not getting entangled with them, this is the way that they attenuate. They start to lose some of their power. The attractions and aversions called ragas and dveshas and fears called abhiniveshas, the kleshas, they gradually start to lose their coloring in this way. And here is the same thing turned the 90 degrees, so we look at it as levels. So this is this middle ground level here of dreaming, unconscious mind. It's the subtle plane of reality inside the red dotted circle thing. And so here we have the waking state, the dreaming, and the deep sleep. And of course there's consciousness, the fourth state, Turiya. And I'll scroll down here. If you want, you can come back and pause and read the text, the descriptions here that talk about this. And I put another little thing down here that is good information, this background. It's sort of the foundation of yoga. In the early Yoga Sutras, two core principles are presented. These are practice and non-attachment. They are abhyasa and vairagya. You might want to pause and look through these. They work together. And this practice has to do with the persistent effort to have a tranquil mind. It's called stita, a steady, stable, calm, tranquil mind. And vairagya is non-attachment. So by doing meditation and allowing these thoughts to come forward, they gradually lose their coloring, and this is called vairagya or non-attachment. And this colored symbol down here is just a graphic attempt to give some sense of coloring. So here's a little money bag, there's a spider for fear, and there's a fork and knife for food, and some other symbols, security and romance, and there's a drink and a cigarette and a medal for fame. And it's not a perfect metaphor, but it kind of works, because we're not talking about trying to have a sterile, cold, black and white life, but the principle is that we all know what, for example, we all know what money is, but for some of us in the unconscious mind, the coloring, the klesha, the klishta of money is very, very strong. And so what we want to do is attenuate that. And this is called non-attachment, so that we're not so emotionally charged over life in the external world. And so that's what this symbol is about here, this picture. And here's a comment about Taijasa not being the spiritual realm. You might want to look through this. It's very common to think that here's the world out here, and then there's another world that's called the spiritual world. It's very common that we can hear about, read about only these two levels of reality. And what we're actually experiencing is Vaishvanara and Taijasa, the gross and the subtle, and sort of overlooking the levels that are beyond that, which we're going to explore a little bit more. So Taijasa is not the absolute reality. And so you might want to pause these and read over this. And seeking this subtle realm is a distraction. It's called siddhis or powers. And the Yoga Sutras talks about these. For a yogi, all of the so-called psychic powers that may come are a distraction. They are a disturbance to the higher state of consciousness, to the deeper meditation. And so a lot of these come in this level of Taijasa. And so what the yogi does is allows it to come, but then recognizes that it's actually an obstacle and allowing it to go on. And so I'll let you see the rest of this. And the ooh, and there's how you form the ooh. And so again, I'm just scrolling down here slowly so you can take a look at this. If you want to come back and read the paragraphs, you can. Anyway, this is the part on Taijasa. Taijasa is the plane of reality. What you and I normally experience this as in daily life is dreaming that occurs sometimes, maybe not every night. So this is about the third of the 7 levels called Taijasa. So thank you again for listening. I hope, once again, I hope you're enjoying this and find it useful for your meditation practices so that Om really can lead you in the direction of this still, silent fourth state. Okay? Bye-bye.